Well, this video I am very excited about. Welcome back, guys, to a brand new video. Now, as requested by you guys, we are taking a step back to the past and we are going to the world of Lost Island. Now, we are going to be revisiting some of the creatures from Lost Island, which have been ported over to ARK Survival Ascended. Now, yes, Lost Island isn't in ARK Survival Ascended yet. It will be in the near future, and we only have a few more maps left to check out the creatures that have been ported over to ASA. I know it's like really frustrating waiting for some of the old maps to return. There are two maps that we do not have a date for, and it sadly is Lost Island and Crystal Isles. We have no idea when these maps are going to pop up. Wherever they are in the world, they have been confirmed they will one point return. Next up we have Valguero, and we'll see what happens with the others after. But I thought, you know, as we've been going through the maps recently, why not check out some of the OG creatures? So if you enjoy this video, drop a like, subscribe. We've been obviously using Rag as our like placeholder for the map while we check out these creatures, because Rag's my favorite map. I've said it to you guys already. But make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and let's get in with the video. Okay, we pressed the single player button, we're heading in. And can you guys, I'm going to give you 5 seconds. No, 5 seconds is not long enough. Can you remember the creatures from Lost Island? If you played back in the day, in your head right now, can you think what those creatures were? Because you're going to be finding out in this video anyway. So we are getting our famous creative mode via admin commands open. And we are going to be trying out the creatures and seeing what they're like in ASA. And another thing you guys know, when we're trying out creatures in ASA, we can also see what they're like currently in the in-game files. Because you would have seen in the most recent video, I think it was yesterday's earlier video, there won't be a double upload today, but yesterday's early video, the Deinonychus you can no longer spawn in anymore. Because my guess behind that is because, and even the mods are broken, my guess behind that is because Studio Wildcard are working on, you know, it's releasing in 26 days. So, Amargasaurus, Dinopithecus, Cynomacrops. All three of those are it's gonna take a while to see them back in the game. The Maywing, it was gonna take a long time to see that. Wildcard decided to release the Mayguana. I don't think they're gonna do the same with these creatures. We'll see. But we're gonna begin with the famous Amargasaurus. So, when this loads, there we go. You guys know the Amargasaurus was a crazy beast. Now, what we'll see here is one of them is the mod, and here is the non-modded version. So, what we always try to do is see if there's a chance that the non-modded version will spawn into the game. So, what we do is we click summon, but unfortunately, the Amargasaurus, it does not work. There are some that do work. Like, a lot of the Genesis ones work, but as for the Amargasaurus, you gotta go through the modded version. So we're gonna summon tame 150, as we always do, and here we have it. There is the modded Amargasaurus, and it is returned. I mean, look at it, guys. Who remembers?
All the creatures
I'll leave this to you now.
Family, Amargasaurus titanicus is likely the most unique in appearance. It sports two parallel rows of dorsal spines down the length of its neck, back, and tail, though the neck spines are significantly longer than the back or tail spines. These spines are a remarkable adaptation, giving Amargasaurus unmatched control of its body temperature. Made even more marvelous by their time on this ark, their spines store both extreme heat and extreme cold, effectively allowing Amargasaurus to live comfortably in any environment. Its sails also make it an abnormally capable swimmer for a sauropod. Unlike most sauropods, Amargasaurus is very prone to violent aggression, attacking most predators and humans on sight. I suspect this behavior developed alongside the dangerous spines it uses as weapons. Once finally tamed, it's no surprise that Amargasaurus's regenerating spines can be put to potent use. If removed early, their thermal storage becomes erratic, which is perfect for catalyzing sap extraction in large trees. Some tribes, inevitably, have adapted this thermal quirk for combat. By coaxing the Amargasaurus to eject a spine before it sheds naturally, the disruptive thermal waves which emanate from the spike can wreak havoc on nearby armor materials. Interestingly, simple armor is barely affected, while armors constructed of more complex attributes are rendered largely useless. Such a strange reaction. But then, little about this particular art seems sensible to me.
So there you have it. There was the dossier of the Amargasaurus, which I have always found it so weird how it must have been the way this game was built. But I've always found it very, very weird how the dossiers still work with the ported versions into ASA. It must, as I said, be the way the game was built, but it's so awesome. So who remembers the spikes? These spikes were some deadly spikes back in the game, but I love how you can still have them ported into the game, you know, it's great. So what we're going to do now, as we always do, go into crafting, we go to Amargasaurus saddle, and this is what it, obviously, Amargasaurus spike, we don't need to worry about that because we're in creative mode. We go into it, we equip saddle to ride, and boom. And here we have it, the Amargasaurus saddle. And, of course, one of the things that you guys will always sort of know within, you know, ASE to ASA is, in ASA, everything gets rebooted. So the creatures may stay quite the same, but they tend to get a bit of a TLC. And here we have it, the Amargasaurus in ARK Survival Ascended. I mean, do you know what? This was 2021, if I'm correct, but who remembers those dangerous spikes? Should we follow it? Those amazing Amargasaurus spikes. We had armor. It literally was heat resistant. It was the craziest. It was such a tank within the game. And obviously we had fixed movement there. So, you know, I used to love these. It wasn't my favorite as part of, look at, we're attacking some, but let's show some fight at the Amargasaurus. Look at that. Your Amargasaurus takes on anything it wants to. So, look, so spacebar was the fixed movement enabled, not what we need right now. I thought we disabled it. There we go. But yeah, absolutely crazy creature when it was first added. Everyone was loving it. How to tame videos, all of that kind of stuff was fun. And do you remember the cloud that it leaves behind with its spikes here? Now, it won't affect us, but it will affect creatures around it and survivors. So very, very cool. And it was fun to just to be able, for me, it's not always about trying out the old abilities, because I'm very excited to see, you know, what they're like in ASA. I mean, some of my mod team, especially Power, said to me he loves watching the videos but of trying out the new creatures, but he doesn't like to try them themselves because he doesn't want to ruin it from when he gets to try it when it actually releases. If you guys have that much patience, well done. But anyway, so that's the Amargasaurus. I just, you know, why don't we summon tame one of these eerie ones here as well? Why not? Just have a little look as well. I think it will look at that. Oh, wow. That looks so cool. That seriously looks so cool. Look at its face. But yeah, it's a good throwback. That's why I love doing these videos. You guys really enjoyed the Genesis and the Fjordur ones. And that's why I wanted to do a Lost Island one. Of course, we'll do whatever other ones we possibly can, what's in the game. So, Cynomacrops, it has to be. So, this is the Cynomacrops that is actually in the game. I'm guessing this is the modded one, but this is the one, does it work? No, it doesn't. So, it looks like the Lost Island creatures are pretty much a no-go. Look, not allowed to spawn in this map. So, that tends to be what comes up when I feel like, since I've been doing these videos, I don't know if it's me, but since I've been doing these videos, Studio Wildcard, it's like more and more has become unavailable. It's like they're telling me to stop. They're like, Dom, stop ruining it for everyone. But I'm sorry. I just miss the old creatures. And, I mean, we know straight away. What this little guy used to be able to do. And I'll leave it to you guys.
Sponde is a friendly and curious little pterosaur. It may approach and investigate unfamiliar creatures, but Cynomacrops does spook easily. When threatened, it will unfurl its wings to reveal deimatic eye spots in an attempt to confuse or scare predators away. Still, Sinomicrops seems to be a highly intelligent creature that craves social interaction. While it's normally curious and friendly, Sinomicrops' adorably oversized mouth turns into a deadly weapon at the slightest sight and smell of insects. Even alone, this cute little critter can take down insects far larger than itself. Unfortunately, this means that armor made from chitinous plates is going to trigger an attack response from the otherwise sweet-hearted pterosaur. Taming a Sinomicrops is fairly straightforward in theory. Just feed them without scaring them. Once tamed, they absolutely love traveling with their humans and prefer to cling to them whenever possible. Not only are they sociable, but they're fiercely protective once bonded. Any small creature approaching someone with a tamed Sinomicrops will be met with its flashing eye spots and piercing shriek. That's usually enough to stun an undersized interloper. For such a small flyer, Sinomicrops can carry surprisingly heavy loads. It can even support the weight of a fully grown human adult, though it will struggle to gain altitude. Still, any creature companion that can double as a glider and parachute is invaluable for anyone traversing an ARK, as long as they bring plenty of snacks for their new friend.
So, here you heard it. Now, I know the Drakelin was added into the game, but this truly was the OG shoulder flyer. And I loved the Sinomicrops so much. It was such an amazing addition to ARK Survival. It really was. And it's going to be a while. So, what I have noticed, and I've talked to a lot of people about this as well, is with these creatures, a lot of time, Wildcard are adding in other types of creatures that can do what some of the OG creatures could do as well. Like I said, the Maywing, the Drakelin, that kind of thing. Because they don't want to re-release them into the game. Obviously, they can make money from it, of course, is one of the things. But they, these maps are so far away, and we don't have the ability to use them anymore. It's just nice to try out the OG versions because, I don't know, I'm getting older, but I just, the ARK was my childhood, growing up. I loved it. And when I see some of these OG creatures, I mean, when I say childhood, Lost Island was when I was in my, I think I was 20, 21, something like that. So I wasn't a child anymore, but it was great. So, it's time for the King of the Jungle. Dino Pithecus. So it looks like here, the Dinopithecus was harder to find as a mod. It was actually made by a different creator and was ported by a different creator because there was one creator that seemed to do a lot of the porting for all of the creatures. Now, as we know already, let's try and spawn in the Dinopithecus. Not allowed to spawn in this map. There we go. So, the modded version, summoned tamed, here it is. Lovely. Look at that. What a view. But here is the ported version. I will leave it to you guys again.
Changed by ARK life. This species is definitely larger than any I remember from the fossil record, and these oversized baboons show a more pack-oriented behavior than I would have expected in their kind. Whole troops will organize around an alpha and fall apart if that alpha is slain. Though they seem to prefer a diet of fruit, supplemented with the occasional bit of meat, Dinopitheci are opportunistic and will eat just about anything. They're also excellent climbers. I've seen them scramble up sheer cliff faces and leap between trees to scavenge food for their troop. Dinopitheci will bear sharp teeth and toss well-aimed handfuls of their own excrement when provoked. Their feces is what really sets this species apart. They've managed to weaponize a parasite in it that disables tech. I feel like that parasite deserves its own dossier. If you can manage to tame enough Dinopitheci, you'll soon find yourself with a small troop at your disposal. Your mini-troop will organize around the strongest of your tames, their new alpha, that can then direct them at a target with a shrieked battle cry. No need to saddle your tamed Dinopithecus to ride it. It will make one for you using its own tail. Just hold on tight, and it will take you straight up walls and across zip lines. In battle, your Dinopithecus will fling fecal projectiles, grenades, or a combination that I like to call EBM, for Explosive Bowel Movement.
So, I remember that the Dinopithecus used to... Oh, there we go. So, the Dinopithecus, you used to be able to clamber upon anything. And I'm just getting some... Because... Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay. I'm remembering now. It was... Do you know what? It was confusing me so much. Because I, like... What was I using the other day? I was using the Deinonychus. Which is coming to Valguero, and it was really confusing me because I was getting used to, like, you know, obviously the clambering and stuff, but it's not, I'm not remembering it how I used to, weirdly, and I don't know if it's because Lost Island, I did play a lot of Lost Island, but Dinopithecus is one video I never did a how to tame video on, and and this was the creature vote, wasn't it, the Deinonychus, Dinopithecus, but I have to say, the Dinopithecus looks like one of the best ones that's been ported in. I think they all look so cool. But don't you just think this baboon, well, hopefully I'm saying that's the correct thing, was the best, just looks mighty. I mean, look at it in photo mode here. I mean, look at this thing. I mean, it was truly an epic tame, wasn't it? And do you know what? I'm actually going to have to go back and actually try out some of the amazing things that this thing could do. Because I just feel so out of the loop. And it's funny what can change within 4 years when you don't... Because again, Lost Island was another map that I played a lot in the past. Not like... I wouldn't say like a lot. But it was one when it came out that I did play. But then I sort of went back to my other familiar maps. And I think that happened a lot in the game. Like, some people stuck to their favourite maps. And then, you know, and that was just the way ARK was. Like, people had their favourite maps. And that's what people enjoyed. But, of course, you used to be able to throw poop and grenades. So, what we're going to do is we're going to get ourselves a grenade. And I can't actually remember... So let's craft some grenades, and then let's go into the inventory, and let's whack a grenade in there. And if I'm correct, what was it again to target the throw? I literally can't remember. I might have done this on Xbox, you know. Right, 2 seconds. So it sadly looks like this mod might be a little bit incompatible. I'm not too sure because I can't even do an attack. But if the creator watches this, let me know whether it's like outdated or something. But it's still awesome that we can ride one and still look at what we used to have. And very soon in the future, we will get ourselves these back into the game. It's just going to be a matter of time. Let me know what map you want to see next. I guess there's not that many for us to do. But once they're all done, we can then look to the future. We got Valguero coming up next. But, of course... Crystal Isles is a map we haven't covered yet.